it is my pleasure to introduce our youth speaker, Ms. Maymoona Abu-Omir. Maymoona is an advocate who's supporting positive youth development and educational access in the Middle East and North Africa. She is currently pursuing her master's degree in applied linguistics in Jordan. In addition to being a skilled researcher in the field of education, she is currently leading the implementation of a USAID-funded Youth Lead Arabic Community, which is a community curated for youth in the MENA region, and which aims to enhance knowledge sharing, cross-learning, and collaboration. Maymoona is also a coordinator of a peer-to-peer mentoring program and will be sharing her responses to the day's session. Maymoona, over to you.
Thank you so much, Uzma, for such a nice introduction. Hi, everyone. This is Maymoona Abu-Omir. I'm from Jordan. Very glad to be here to share a youth response to today's inspiring conversations. So, being born and raised in a developing country that is surrounded by conflict and instability like Jordan means that I grew up seeing insecurity shaping the lives of people from all over the MENA region. My granddad, who is the biggest advocate of his children and grandchildren's higher education, is illiterate himself. And the main reason behind that was because he was displaced at a very young age. And his priority when he was a teenager was to work and provide for his family instead of going to school. Many refugees and displaced individuals like Grandpa sought asylum in Jordan and learned the hard way how to adapt to a new context that lacks many resources. Still, education plays a vital role in Jordan's growth as a country that is famous in the region for having one of the highest rates of higher education enrollment. And with that being said, the increasing number of refugees and lack of proper facilities in Jordan put more pressure on the country's educational institutions. And additionally, in humanitarian crises, education, and in particular, higher education, is too often neglected. And very often, educational research focuses on primary education because higher education is considered luxurious in crisis areas. And because the average conflict lasts 10 years and families remain in IDP camps for an average of 17 years, this evidently causes a failure to prioritize education in general and higher education in particular, which results in entire generations being left uneducated, disadvantaged, and unprepared to contribute to their society's recovery. I remember when I was talking to a Syrian mother here. She used to live in the Za'atari camp, and then she moved to a small studio apartment in the rural side of Irbid. I asked her why is her 14-year-old son is not at school and instead is working. She said, even if you give me money for my children's education, I'd rather buy them food or clothes or pay rent. And the thing is, you know what, people shouldn't have to choose. And when we talk about engaging higher education for change through innovation, employability, and the private sector, it is a giving that one of the biggest obstacles is living in a non-democratic and an unsafe setting. Education saves and sustains life by offering safe spaces for learning, by making it possible to identify and support seriously affected individuals, especially youth and children. And as studies clearly show, education mitigates the psychosocial impact of conflict and disasters by providing a sense of normalcy, stability, and hope for the future. And of course, quality education can save lives by providing the physical protection from the dangers and exploitation of a crisis environment. So in addition to educating children and young people as agents of social change and building enabling environments for them for more effective education systems in conflict-affected countries, one important takeaway from me is that every emergency situation is different. We should have a global fund for education in emergencies because people shouldn't have to choose between their food and their education.